Hello, everyone, and welcome to the American Horror Story as Seen on TV podcast for Season 3, Episode 3, The Replacements. I'm your host, Dom. With me, I have Omikins.
Hello.
Which I'm actually pointing at her and not the big snakehead.
So I'm pointing. Yeah, exactly. Same.
And Mike.
I'm this way.
Hi. No, you're that way.
Can you just reach over and pull its tongue?
I wish.
I can try. Yank.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Quite well. This is an excellent episode, I must say.
It was. I didn't even get through the whole episode and you're texting me. Oh my god.
Sorry.
It's okay.
And then you tell me an hour later, like, yeah, I gotta watch the last 5 minutes. I'm like, fuck. He's gonna have the same reaction I had in the last 5 minutes.
No.
No.
Okay, you had a much sadder reaction.
Yes. Madison.
It,
I know.
No! I think I just called you guys on Skype and screamed for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you
Yes.
did. Yeah, you muted us, and then you came back all of a sudden just, Madison, no! I'll cut that off there, but it continued for quite a while.
It did. It was like that Darth Vader cry, you know, spoilers at the end of episode 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that was... Yeah. Been thinking a bunch on that scene.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to the beginning of the episode. We'll get to Madison by the end. But
Rewind.
so we got new neighbors that
Mike.
moved in,
okay, you can.
right?
Okay, neighbors, right? Yeah,
The
yeah.
Bible thumpers. You see a lot more. We already had a little bit of drama this episode with the Bible thumpers. You think we're gonna have more trouble with the new neighbors as the season goes on?
Probably. Definitely.
Well, now that Madison's gone, there won't be so much trouble.
Well, Nan also had a crush on the, the son there, the teenage hunk, as you would put it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nan has crushes on a lot of guys.
True.
Was it just me, or was he flirting with Nan?
He was. Because... he comes from a very heavy Christian background or Catholic background, whatever, and all of a sudden 2 girls come in. One is, she looks like she has. It's gonna be straight out because the actress does have Downs. She looks like she has Downs, but she's really nice. She baked you a cake and everything like that. And then there's this other one dressed like a total slut coming on to you. How are you gonna react?
Madison.
How is a normal person gonna react?
Madison.
All right, so I'm just not normal. I'd take the fucking cake.
Fuck this, my cake.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the cake. How'd you bake this? Ooh, is that chocolate? Is that red velvet? I love this cream cheese icing. Oh wait, you're still here, Blondie?
Yeah, she's waiting for you to finish the cake.
Right.
So, what did you guys think about Delphine? She's been very, very, what's a good way to phrase it? She's been very open with her racism. She's dropped the N-bomb a few times, in earlier episodes. She's sitting down, she's watching the TV, she calls it the magic box, she finds out the President of the United States is black. We have, what's her name? Fiona. She mentions that they not only is the president black, we've had black secretaries of states, they've been in our government, and Delphine just kind of snaps or whatever.
Even tells her, I voted. Yeah, I voted for him twice.
Yeah, and then Delphine makes Fiona makes Delphine the maid of the house, and then the final straw is when Delphine goes to serve Queenie, and then frisbees her plate across the kitchen. And Fiona comes out and decides that Delphine is going to be Queenie's personal slave after having all this racist attitude. What are your thoughts on this?
Delphine's from a different era. Where racism was an apparent thing, and it wasn't really looked down upon.
Back where she's from, what, the 1830s?
Yeah.
She owned slaves, as did everybody around her, so, I mean, that's normal for her society-wise. Now she's in a house, there's a black girl living there, as a student, who she's supposed to serve as the maid. I mean, there's a black president and black people in the government and all this other, and the slave, there is no more slavery. She's losing her marbles.
Was I the only one that jumped out at the TV and I was like, yes! As soon as Fiona was like, serve her, you are her personal slave, you will scrub her toilets.
I expected it, to be honest.
So did I. I kind of expected something along those lines. But it definitely made me cheer a little inside.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a redeeming quality to Fiona so far, because 2 episodes, this is the 3rd episode, I mean, 2 episodes go by, she seems like, you know, she's a drinker, drugs, very vain, total bitch, doesn't really care about anybody, terrible mother. And now all of a sudden there's a redeeming quality that comes to light a little bit. Like, there's one thing I can't stand, it's racists. And, okay, so you're not a total asshole.
Right. Yep. Yeah, because we saw her when she was going into the trials of being, coming to terms with the fact that she was going to be supreme. She kind of knew, she was trying to get information from her superior, and we learned that the witches, for them to be considered supremes, need to display the 7 wonders, as they put it, which are the 7 powers, basically, that we were kind of speculating how many are there. Well, now they've announced there are 7. So, do you think that this is only 7 that witches can possess, or is this only 7 that the Supreme themselves can control?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's the latter there, because only 7 powers. I mean, haven't we seen, like, I don't know how many we've really seen
We've seen at least 24 already.
Not that many. No.
Yes, we have.
We have seen a bunch. So I'm guessing that the 7 wonders are powers that are very difficult to control and master. And if a witch shows, you know, more than 1 or 2 of them, that must mean, you know, yeah, I don't know.
You said we've seen at least a dozen. What have we seen?
We've seen the life force being sucked. We've seen resurgence. We've seen the human voodoo doll. We've seen telekinesis. We've seen the blood magic that Zoe does. We've seen clairvoyancy.
Pyrokinesis.
Pyrokinesis, yeah. That's like 7. And then whatever that other witch can do. What's her name? Maria?
The Black Witch?
Yeah.
Well, she's not exactly a witch. She's more of a voodoo shaman from...
Yeah, they're a whole different type. They're a whole different branch of...
They are.
So their magic is completely different than what the witches are learning. So it seems we've nailed 7 right there.
Mm-hmm.
So there very well may not be any more than the 7.
Or there, yeah, we have to wait and see.
There was a enthralling as well. Fiona did it to the one doctor when she was back in LA.
That's 8, yeah.
So there's more.
But can we link different things together? Like, pyrokinesis may not necessarily be the ability to just generate fire on command, but it may be manipulating elements, which can be paired with some of the other powers that they have.
That's possible. We just have to wait and see, because I'm very curious.
Yeah. I don't know. So, we also saw Kyle go back to his mother. And without knowing what had happened, do you agree with Zoe bringing Kyle back to his mother first and foremost?
No.
Neither do I.
He's totally got Frankenstein's syndrome, and he's aggressive and confused. And so, with Mommy being the way she is, he's gonna smash her face in.
Well, she didn't know that.
No, she didn't.
We're talking about before any of that.
But I would not have taken the steps that Zoe did. I would have actually probably kept him with the hippie woman until he healed a little bit more.
Yeah, because he's a little out of it mentally. And I mean, you take him back to mommy. Mommy's all grief-stricken and all that stuff. I'm thinking at first, the first thing. So you just left him there on her doorstep and ran? He's gonna go fucking Frankenstein on her before midnight. And then, I mean, we find out. Oh, all of our reactions. We all talked about it later. We were all like, oh, oh.
She does drugs. She was on the verge of hanging herself.
Well, that stuff. I mean, does drugs. One thing. The hanging herself, grief.
Did you guys expect the incest?
No.
No.
That's why I was like,
oh my god.
Like, that's your fucking son. What the? Oh, come on.
Yeah, okay. That was disgusting.
So now let's take this again. Now knowing what you already know, would you have brought Kyle to his mother?
So no. He can. No, not so that can happen to torture him. So he could smash her face in, maybe.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
More what I was getting at.
If he could come back and smash her face in, that's completely fine. But for her to go at him the way she was, no, I don't want to. No.
I totally would have done it, knowing that he would smash her face in. So.
That's just horrible.
We're so bad.
But that's oh my god. I was like, I'm still like that right now. It's
yeah. It was kind of a mind-blowing moment of the episode, and to me, the Madison thing was a much bigger deal. But
we'll get to that.
Yes, this one was more shocking, but the Madison one hit me a little harder. But so going back to Fiona, we see she regretted a lot of her life for quite some time. Do you believe that she actually regretted this, or?
Well, it's things she's telling Madison after she figured out that Madison's going to be the next Supreme Witch. So I don't know whether I should have believe her or not, because she's sitting there. She sees Madison, she sees herself as a young girl in Madison, when they're at the bar playing pool, and she just dumps out her alcohol, like, yeah, I'm done with this shit. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, she did have a lot to drink up to that point. And you know what alcohol does to people. It brings out the honesty in them, even because they can't control it, so they just spew out the truth. And I think what Fiona was telling Madison was sincere. It was the truth, but she makes that 180. She makes that full turnabout after whatever happens with Madison. After she does that, she's like, "Screw it. We don't need this. It's all me, anyways. Always been."
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm still torn on whether I believe her or not. Maybe she regrets some of the things she's done or some of the bits of her life that she's led, but at the same time, she's still a power-hungry bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she definitely is. Excuse me. And I knew she would try to take Madison out.
Yeah.
I knew. That was inevitable. Like, she was giving Madison the whole self-preservation speech. She was showing Madison how to manipulate people so that guy walked out into the street and felt he was safer in the middle of the street than on the sidewalk, and different things like that. So I, for a very brief period of time, thought that she was going to help Madison, and it was because she regretted her life and all this stuff. But then it started getting to me, and I was like, no, that's not going to be the case. She's going to lure Madison into a false sense of security, and then when Madison least suspects it, when she puts her guard down, that is when Fiona is going to attack. But I expected things to go terribly wrong for Fiona and Madison to triumph over her. I did not expect Madison to actually die. That completely took me by surprise, and I was like, no! I screamed.
Yeah. See, in the beginning, based on the first scene shown in the 70s when, Fiona finds out she's a Supreme, based on that, how she said, when the new Supreme is coming up and her powers start blossoming, she starts sucking the powers out of the old Supreme and her life force and everything, and however she put that. So I'm thinking, great, she finds out Madison is now exhibiting more powers. She's going to think she's going to be the next Supreme, and she's going to kill Madison before she starts sucking her, Fiona's power's out. But then she, this whole regret thing and everything, and she's standing where she killed the old Supreme in the exact same places. It gives Madison a knife and is like, kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me. And I'm thinking, okay, this I was not totally expect. And then, and there goes Madison's throat. And I'm like, whoa. Like,
she made it seem like it was an accident as it was happening. But then
right.
It was the moments afterwards where it seemed very methodical.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking on that later, that was probably Fiona's whole plan. She was probably hoping that Madison was just as power hungry as she herself was as a young lady. So she was probably hoping that Madison would try to attack her so she could turn it around and kill Madison and then be completely off the hook for it and not take the blame.
Yeah.
I was acting in self-defense. She came at me with a knife.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my thought process there.
So how do you think the school is going to react to that?
I don't know.
I think Fiona's still going to throw the same spin on the story. That Madison came at her and she tried to defend herself. I think that's obviously something that's going to happen. I mean, there was a witness, but he can't really talk about it.
Right.
And he wouldn't anyways.
I love that we found out that in the 70s, that's how he lost his tongue, because Fiona cut it out.
Yep. What about possibly the fact that she's just not going to acknowledge she's dead and tell the school that she ran away?
There's that possibility. I think it's going to come out.
It's going to come out. I think they already mentioned it in the next episode that Madison was found.
Do you think they're going to bring her back?
Bring her back?
Zombie style?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I think Madison is gone for good.
You're hanging on that whole zombie aspect because you want Madison back so bad.
Yeah.
Choose your eye candy for this show?
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're bringing Madison back. They've already got one Frankenstein zombie monster to deal with, and that's Kyle.
But
I'm curious what's going to happen to him.
Maybe they could take the lessons that were learned. See, you don't think Zoe's going to have responsibility that Madison was the one that helped her bring Kyle back, so she's kind of obligated to bring Madison back?
No, I don't think so. Zoe's stupid.
She's not stupid. She's just naive, and she doesn't know what she's getting herself into. There's a possibility she might feel like she's responsible for bringing Madison back in the same manner, but she's kind of down on herself. She doesn't believe she has the power to do that by herself. She thinks she would probably need help, and she's not going to go looking for it.
How do you know? Misty Day.
Well, there is Misty, yeah, but
Misty's kind of miffed at her right now.
What was up with Misty? Like, Misty really seemed like she was clinging to Kyle. And was that more because she was lonely and wanted Kyle to stay, or do you think it's because she wanted Zoe to keep coming back?
Both.
I just think Misty has a few screws loose. And any kind of attention is good attention for her.
She lives in a shack in the middle of a bayou and is obsessed with Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
I mean, Fleetwood Mac is a pretty good band, but...
Yes, but her obsession borderlines on unhealthy.
Yeah, this is very true.
So there's definitely a couple, few fries short of a large here.
Yeah.
Not the sharpest crayon. No, not the sharpest light bulb in the crayon box. What? Did I break you? Are you thinking about that?
So, Cordelia now. We have her, she's very desperate for a child. And she goes to Marie and tries to get help. Try to get a spell cast. Fertility spell, like this whole ritual and all that stuff. They even went through and showed us what the ritual would have looked like.
And I thought that they were doing the ritual, and
Yeah.
they were just talking, they were just overlaying her telling Cordelia about it
Exactly, and then
like they do in so many other shows.
And then when she goes, okay, well, when can we get started? How much is it? When's the new moon? Like, when? Let's do this. She laughed at her, and she goes, I wouldn't do this for you. I wouldn't do it for $100,000. I was just like, oh. And apparently this had a lot to do with Fiona's visit down to her hair salon and different things like that. So where do you think Cordelia can turn now? Do you think she's going to go back and try to convince Marie, or is she going to look for another source?
I mean, what else?
She's gonna have to do it on her own, and she didn't want to do that, but she's really desperate. She's gonna turn to dark magic and make herself pregnant.
She tried one magic ritual with her husband, with the snakes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
She's tried conventional means with doctors and fertility treatments and all that other stuff, and voodoo witch, which. By the way, a jar of boiling semen was not something I needed to see on TV.
Or why they called it baby gravy.
Yeah, you bring 2 ounces of your husband's baby gravy.
That was a very interesting term. I don't think I've ever heard it called that before.
So we all dance like crazy people around the fire. We throw a jar of semen into the fire to let it boil, and then once it bursts the jar, we slit the throat of a lamb and let it bleed all over your lady parts.
Seems legit. I'd pay $50,000 for that.
Would you?
It'd be a good show, I guess.
No,
I don't know. Not
for
me either.
Lamb blood to pour all over your lady parts?
Absolutely.
I'm good. No.
How about you, Umi?
No thanks.
No.
Yeah, I don't want no lamb blood flowing all over my lady parts.
Perfect. Okay, so then since we already hit Madison, which was the final scene, the second to last scene was the Minotaur comes trying to crash through the house and attack Delphine. And we see Queenie cut Delphine's hand, gets the blood on a napkin, and goes outside. I think she's trying to lure it away from the house. She's trying to kill it. She's trying to trap it. Something along those lines to get it away from the house. Then we find out Queenie lures it into
A shed,
or something, and decides that she's into bestiality.
I don't know where that came from. They call you a beast, but they call me a beast, but I just want to be loved, just like you. You want to be loved. And there's this tender moment, and then all of a sudden she starts fingering herself in front of a minotaur that wants to kill her, and I'm thinking, what?
I couldn't even watch the screen at that point.
And then, it comes all up to her, rubs its horn gently across her face. I'm like, seriously? He's buying? What the... and then scene ends with him just grabbing her by the face. It's like, oh, okay.
So, what do you think is going on with that? Did Queenie have a plan, or is she just really into minotaurs?
No, she's really lonely. She's a lonely girl.
I mean,
Earlier in the episode, they had a talk about, their virginity, and, Nan's like, well, don't talk to Queenie, because, she's still a virgin, and she's like, shut up, Nan, you stupid wench.
I'm saving myself.
Yeah, so she wants that. She wants that to go away, because, then she feel whole, and then she doesn't want to feel lonely, and...
minus the fact that he's a minotaur.
Now that I turned the lights off, I think the minotaur's in my house.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
Queenie? Help.
Queenie can't save you.
Oh, yes,
but
she
also,
can.
She heard from Delphine that was her houseboy. And, minus the minotaur head, he's a strapping young black man. Yes. So, there's that going for him in her mind.
So the witches obviously have cast spells not only on Delphine, but her so-called tortured house servants. Why do you think the witches would do this to the house servants, the Minotaur, when they could have used their magic to restore them back to normal instead of creating them into beasts? And we have chat room saying, R.I.P. Dom Sphincter. Thank you very much for that.
and we broke her. Hey, look, I've been reading up through chat. And,
I don't want a Minotaur horn anywhere near my sphincter. Thank you very much.
Hey, chat room's reaction when we were describing Queenie fingering herself in front of a Minotaur is, I got a what and a what the fuck did I just hear? Sounds like some kinky shit right there. That's some kinky shit right there.
Yeah, if you guys are not watching American Horror Story and are just chilling when we do these live streams, definitely need to watch it.
Yeah.
Because this is not something you have to watch every season and follow up on. You can just start a new season because they're each individual stories. So if you have not watched season 1 or 2, you can start season 3. We're only 3 episodes in. There's plenty of time to catch up.
It's
all
on
new characters, all new, like the same actors recycle. So do it up. Very good.
Plus Kathy Bates.
Plus Kathy Bates.
But it's on 10 o'clock on FX, I think.
Eastern.
It's for us on East Coast. It's 10 Eastern on FX every Wednesday.
R.I.P. Madison.
If you want to catch, up, R.I.P. Madison, R.I.P. Dom.
R.I.P. Dom.
R.I.P. Don.
Yeah.
that Minotaur has it out for you.
He does. Yeah. I don't even know where I was going with that statement.
Places.
So, any final thoughts?
My final thought is, it's based on one of the final scenes with Zoe. Now, what is she gonna do? She brought Kyle back to his mommy, and Kyle smashed her skull in, literally. And by the way, this show is pretty damn graphic. But, yeah, skull smashed in, and he's covered in blood, and she's freaking out. Now, that was where they left it. Like, she walks in, sees the skull bashed in, turns around, there's Kyle smeared with blood. That's like, ah! And so what's she gonna do now?
You'd be a perfect girl in this show.
Thanks.
You scream just like one.
Thanks.
I don't know. I don't know how Zoe's going to take this. Trying to be all casual, like he's not going to throw something at her. She's totally expecting it. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. But in the meantime, Omi, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
And Mike, just before you throw anything at Omi, make sure to tweet out at this address.
Oh, that was a clever. I was just like, what the heck is he saying? They can find Twitter at Thilladren, THILLADREN. Wow, that actually. How the hell did that make it? I barely threw it.
Impressive.
That had like a frisbee effect to it.
And you can follow us on youtube.com/ASOTV podcasts for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Nailed it! Till next week. See you guys later.
Farewell. There's always something going on here with the throw-in when we do American Horror Story. Always.
Knives last week.
Knives
are flying!
Yeah.